Hello. This is week 3 of the audio journal, and this feels like a bit of a strange one because obviously last week I spoke about how I would like to stop doing these audio journals, and then next week will be the final one. So this is kind of an awkward sort of in between. What do we have to talk about this week? I don't think not too much, but I don't know. Well, like last week, we'll see where it goes. And also we have obligatory apologies. I'm so sorry how much my mic peaks, and also maybe how boring I am to listen to. Sorry, I don't know. I just feel like obliged to apologize. And also we have new editing software, still free, obviously, but I never realized how bad my old one was. The 30 FPS and the horrible quality. Anyway, so this week, I think a good portion of it was kind of just gearing up for November. I've obviously spoken a lot about this personal rut I've been in, and the time with that has kind of just been it's been very loose in finding ways to solve it. It's been very sort of just feeling my way around, just doing things by intuition and things like that, which I think has, I'm getting there, and that's good. But I wanted to make November kind of just a really kind of harsh, just kind of, I don't know, just focus on what made me satisfied in the past. I guess I'll grab up my little notebook here. For this month, I put an extra focus on waking up on time, avoiding short-term pleasures, being a lot more sort of brutally self-honest, and being inspired, which I guess we'll elaborate on them all right now. So waking up on time, this has kind of been something that's always been a little bit tough for me. I think some days it's very easy, but a lot of the time it's sort of it's oddly tough. I think obviously more recently my excitement for the day ahead has been quite minimal, especially because working on the project and working towards goals and things like that has been a lot more of a tough time. Of course I've been less inspired, been less involved, interested, things like that. So it's been difficult to sort of wake up on time, because you sort of wake up, alarm goes off, wake up, and you're kind of sorry, I should stop saying you, but I'm kind of I just don't want to do this because I don't anticipate really much fun things happening in the day. I don't really and a lot recently I've sort of been very relaxed about a daily routine. I mean, I had one quite harshly implemented in the past, and I suppose this entire sort of rut is kind of just an example of me just learning the importance of things I've already implemented, because in the past I had really strong habits down, doing them daily, had a really strong desire and things like that, and now I'm seeing the consequences of taking away some things and sort of getting a little bit lazy with things. I think it's overall been a really nice time to kind of recognize some of the importance of some of the habits that I sort of took for granted or implemented without fully understanding the importance of them. So waking up on time, pretty self-explanatory. It's just something I've always kind of struggled with. I think I'm quite a snoozy kind of person. But that's been cool this week. I think before we continue, I want to talk. So I think the last 3 days of October, I kind of just spent them just kind of doing nothing. Obviously not literally, but I kind of spent them just away from thinking about work as in working on the project. I just kind of spent it not thinking about that stuff, just kind of relaxing, especially because I think sometimes, maybe this isn't the best idea, but sometimes it's sort of nice to just do a little bit of sort of self-indulgence, especially because I kind of noticed my mind was kind of hey, I want to play some games, I want to relax, I want to have some days off, because I do spend 7 days a week working towards making games on my own, especially because it's such a uncertain thing that I feel sort of the need to be working on it every day of the week, every day of the month, things like that. But I kind of just spent the last 3 days of the month kind of just not doing any of that and just relaxing, because it felt really nice. Well, first to indulge in some of the things that I think just kind of help me keep going. I understand it's probably not the bestest of ideas, but at least it felt nice. But also it felt amazing to have more importance placed on the next month. In the past, I spent maybe a day, just sort of, not that the entire day, but I spent a lot of time towards the end of the month just thinking about what are we thinking for next month. This mainly regards sort of changes to daily routine, or habits that I want to have implemented, or just extra focuses or things like that. And I think that's notably been lacking recently. Again, this rut is kind of just an example of me forgetting or not understanding the importance of things that I had previously implemented, and then not implementing them and then feeling the consequences for it. So yeah, but that was really nice because taking that 3-day break was really nice because yeah, extra focus on November, and I think it sort of built up a lot of hype almost. No, hype sounds like a funny word to describe it, but yeah, it built up an extra lot of importance. And I spoke to my partner about it just like a little bit, just kind of to just because, well, yeah, I think this series has helped me understand the importance of publicly accountable, but I think sometimes it's nice to just have like that extra, just sort of one person that you can have some accountability with. And especially, I think it's good for it to maybe be a partner or something. You know, you kind of want to, be a good partner to them or impress them or whatever. Not like explicitly for their validation, but you get what I'm saying. I hope you do. I really hope. But I don't know. That just felt useful to do, and I think when this series stops, I think I will have a better understanding of my relationship with accountability and things like that, especially regarding other people. Anyway, so second on the list was short-term pleasure avoidance. I think I spoke about this maybe like a week or two ago. I just think that's an important thing in sort of everyone's life, to just limit just short-term pleasures, because I think they can heavily distract you from sort of bigger aspirations or goals or whatever in life. And they sort of fill your mind with a lot of complacency and things like that. Not to say that they're all sort of devilish and evil. I mean, just as I said just a few days ago, I kind of indulged in some short-term pleasure, but I think, I don't know, I guess it's in moderation. So, and then also, I think I spoke about this last week. I don't know, it's sort of all of the things that are in the focus of for this month, November, have sort of been things I've spoken about, which I guess has been a really good benefit of this series, because I think it's helped me round up a lot of ideas, and also it's, as much as I hate it, it's quite nice to just rewatch a video and just just remember what I said, and it's nice to watch all of the videos in a row, remember what I said, and then I can look at the month ahead of me and go, okay, this is what I said last week, the week before, let's collect all these ideas and put them into action. So yeah, that is actually a pretty good benefit of the series. But yes, brutal self-honesty, that's just something that I think is especially important, especially because, I don't know, it's weird to describe, but I just think it's oddly been lacking recently. Like, it's difficult to say why, with the other things I've been talking about, I had sort of reason, semi-logical reasoning behind them, but I'm not too sure why this one is sort of lacked. But I suppose, I don't know, maybe it wasn't super present beforehand, before this personal rut, but I think, I just think it feels important to do, and it feels nice, and I guess maybe it's inspired by the David Goggins book I'm still reading. I've actually been a little bit bad with reading it recently. I'm kind of sorry about that. Oh god, I haven't read it today. Oh no. Sorry, I just try to stay on top of daily habits and things like that. But anyway, in the book, he talks about an accountability mirror, which is kind of just it's just kind of like a personal thing for him, where he just sort of looks in the mirror and just is kind of has some brutal self-honesty with himself, just to help with staying real about things. Because I think every person's mind just wants to sort of default to a place of contentness. They kind of you don't want to be too sad or too happy. You kind of just baseline at average. But I think the accountability mirror is a great way of just taking yourself below average a little bit, so you can slingshot yourself sort of further into action. Maybe that didn't make any sense. It's not really a theory I've thought about a lot, but yeah, just some self-honesty. I think that's helped, and I guess I take a bit of inspiration from the accountability mirror. And well, speaking of inspiration, the final thing on the focus for November is inspiration. I think I spoke about this last week. I spoke about the 2024 release date for the project I'm working on. And I just wanted to have inspiration be just as important, because I think that's definitely been lacking with the project recently. Again, of course, still perpetually working to try achieve more inspiration and hopefully more drive for the game, but I want to be on the lookout for any interesting sources of ideas and things like that, just because I think in the past I've sort of naturally soaked up a lot of inspiration, and I've sort of, it feels weird, but I've kind of taken it for granted. I just sort of accidentally stumble upon a really fun game or just other random sources of inspiration, just sort of randomly stumble upon that things. But I would like to see how far I can go purposefully seeking out sources of inspiration like that. Just because I think that would be, I don't know, just I don't know, it's just nice to know how far I've come just by accidentally being inspired by things, and I guess I'm hopeful for how far I could go when I'm purposefully being inspired, or like purposefully seeking inspirations. But yeah, that's the focus for 2020, not 2024, for November 2024. And obviously we're only 3 days in as I'm recording this. But I think it's been nice. It's not been perfect. It's not sort of like October was like really bad and then November is suddenly really good. Obviously, I'm not like that crazy to just suddenly have like an absolute kick in the face and get to being perfect with everything again. But I think it feels good to be doing, and it feels really good to just have like a bit of like ulterior sort of focus in my life, because I think previously I've sort of just been like bumbling around, I guess, a little bit. It's kind of vague, but I don't know, just like month to month or week to week or season to season. There's not been terribly many sort of like extra goals, and I think it just feels nice to have just like a lens to look at this month through. And maybe I would like to maybe do that for December as well. Just because I think it's really nice. I guess this is what religious people must feel like, but it's nice to have just sort of like a bit more of a purpose. That was a bit of a weird way to talk about that. And I think I'd like to carry that more into the following months, following seasons, and things like that. I had a really good point I was going to make, and I'm really upset that I didn't, and that I've forgotten it. But yeah, I guess that's I think that's probably the main thing I want to talk about this week. Maybe I could do more focuses for this month. I think it just feels important to just kind of be small in scope when it comes to focusing on a month. And even though I said those 4 things: waking up on time, short-term pleasure avoidance, self-honesty, and inspiration. I said those 4 things. There's kind of like a further I guess culling of them. I've got even further of a focus, especially regarding like daily habits and things like that, because I think those 4 points are kind of just like overall just sort of like in the background. But then I have more concrete focuses, because I've said I would like to wake up on time. I would like to wake up on time 75% of the time. I think maybe that's a bit low, maybe that's too generous. That's but I don't know, I kind of wanted to just kind of keep it at 75%, just because I think that's especially given how horrible I have been at waking up on time recently. It feels sort of forgiving, but in a way that's sort of encouraging. It's not like super strict that I feel kind of like, oh god, I can't do this is going to be so difficult, but it doesn't feel too strict or not enough strict that it's like, oh yeah, it's easy. And that's felt really good to do, because I think especially I think this is what I was going to say for last month. I had sort of a rough goal of it just said get out of the rut, and while I think that's a good goal to have for a month, I suppose it's very vague and it was difficult, and I kind of got to the end of the month and I was like, I don't think I did it, but I definitely made progress towards it, but I didn't do it. And it just feels nice to have just more concrete goals that you can sort of tick off at the end of a month, because with that waking up on time 75% of the days, that's something like I can get to the end of the month, I can like count how many days I woke up on time, and then I can just tick or cross, right? But with getting out of the rut, it's quite a vague and like big thing even though I don't feel like I achieved that. I think even if I did, I wouldn't really know if I achieved it, especially because the rut is kind of ever, it's perpetually sort of fluctuating. Like some weeks, it's actually like pretty, like I'm actually pretty productive, doing actually pretty well, but some weeks, I'm doing very bad. So if I counted like a good day to mean that I've gotten out of the rut, then I think that wouldn't be true. So it feels nice to have more concrete and more measurable goals for the month, because I think again, maybe another component of the personal rut has just been things have been too vague, too sort of open-ended, too aimless, I guess. And I guess I bring that back to having specific focuses for this month. It just feels very nice to have a lens to look at things through, and then also I guess like a personal lens to look at what you're doing for the month through, and then like an objective, like logical, like lens to look at things through. First through the just sort of like focuses that you want to have for the month, and then there's the second thing, having sort of like yes or no, achieved or not achieved goals for the month. I guess, oh fuck man, I'm gonna repeat myself. Oh god, it's all gone to shit now. Yeah, I think for December I would like to keep in mind the importance of focuses, and then also yes or no goals, because they feel very important. I think simultaneously they do need to be not too common that like the individual goal for each month doesn't really mean as much. I think they need to very importantly be very meaningful, because otherwise, if I'm doing, like, if I have like a weekly goal or something like that, I think the importance of a goal would be watered down, because that, if it's goals left, right, I think one of them would be, or just like week to week, focusing on that specific goal would be very difficult, because it's difficult to get, I guess, attached to it when they change so much. So maybe I'll be semi-wary of setting specific goals for December, just because maybe I won't feel as invested in them as I did for November, or as for this month, because that they're more standardized then in the future. I'm explaining this horribly. But I don't know. Even still, maybe that's just a cope. Maybe that's just like an excuse to be lazy or whatever. But I'll try to keep it in mind. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I wanted to say. Especially given how like long some of the previous ones have been, I always feel like I should have more to say, and especially because the series is so limited now. After this one, there's only going to be one more. But I think I should probably just sort of leave it there. I think next week, of course, that'll be the end. I don't imagine it being too long. Maybe it'll just be sort of similar length to this one. I don't know. I don't expect myself having crazy things to talk about. I think it'll just be like a final reflection on the series, but it will probably just be regurgitating stuff that I've sort of said in fragments over the past few weeks. But anyway, I guess I'll leave it there. Oh gosh, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in a week's time. Goodbye.